All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Zach Mullins from The Grip Show, and today I'm going to be doing a video on some York 35-pound plates. These are the milled Yorks. They are older, but how old, I don't know. There's different versions and casts of this style of plate, so I'm not an expert on all that. I don't know all the history or different decades that, you know, some of them will have, oh, the 35 faces this way, the 35 faces that way, the R, these letters or something, you know, so it's tough to really know, you know what I mean? So for me, I just really lift with them, you know what I mean? Train grip with them. So they are milled on the back, and that is for them to, you know, I believe York, when they were trying to, you know, make sure that all the plates were accurate, they might kind of shave them down or do like a milling or lathing on the back of some of them to make sure they were within tolerance. So yeah, these are some of my favorite plates in general to train with. Obviously, being 35s, a lot of people don't use them, but in the grip world, a lot of stuff we can do with them. So yeah, I still would throw them on the barbell. I put them on my pulley system, all types of different stuff for traditional lifts. But if I get into some of the stuff that I've done grip-wise with them, which I'm gonna, you know, add all the videos in. So just some different things I've done with these would be like a strict plate curl, where you're curling the plate out, keeping your wrist straight, curling it up, and that puts a tremendous amount of pressure on your wrist. The goal is to not have your wrist flop back like this. You want it to be straight up, and the length of the plate is going to basically be as much of a problem as the weight of the plate. So with this 35, these are actually about 14¼ inches going, you know, all the way across. So I mean, your hand's only down here at the bottom, and you're having to basically, you know, fight this leverage of the plate to maintain that straight position in the wrist. So really good for wrist work, finger pressure, especially flat finger pressure like this, where you're not pinching and having the fingers bent. So plate curls are a good thing with these if you're strong enough. If not, you can always, you know, scale it down. A lot of times plate pinching is really good with these because of the milling. Sometimes plates that are milled like this, they can, you know, take chalk better and kind of give you a little bit of grip. In other cases, I've also seen where the milling doesn't necessarily mean it's easier, because sometimes the milling will almost create like a smoothness, and although you can see the lines, they'll actually be pretty smooth, and it kind of screws up doing a plate pinch with them. But for this pair, they have pretty good milling that holds chalk pretty well, so I do like pinching these and doing some different feats with them. So if I go into kind of details of other things I've done with them, obviously pinching them together with the flat sides out, and that is roughly probably about a little over a 2½ inch pinch. So if I were to line both these up together, they're going to come out to be about, you know, 2½ inches. So not super deep dish. They're pretty much regular size plates. But yeah, probably right about 2½ or a little over 2½ inches for these plates if we're going to pinch them. Going along with feats that I've done pinch-wise, I've pinched a pair, and recently was doing a lot of farmer's walks with them. So I just pinched them, walked them about 40 yards, so 120 feet, sat them down. I probably had a little bit more in the tank, but that was kind of the goal that I had set that day, and kind of met it. So I, you know, held it for a couple seconds and sat them down. But yeah, that's a pretty good feat. I was happy with that the other day. And probably two of the most impressive things I've done with these, or two feats that meant the most to me, were initially I had seen a video and heard people talk about, you know, years ago, Cody Burns, one of the best pinch people when it comes to grip. He would take plates, you know, he took 35s and would pick them up flat side out, spin them 180 degrees, and then catch them in the same hand. Initially, I had heard about that, and I think I heard about it on This Week in Grip, Jed Johnson's old podcast, and I think I misunderstood what he was doing, because I took them in my left hand, spun them 180 degrees, and caught them in the right hand, which I think is a little bit easier than spinning them in the same hand. It's all pretty difficult, but still need to work on landing the same hand, spinning them and catching them. But I did do a video years ago, probably about 2.5 years ago, where, like I said, I spun them 180 degrees, caught them in the other hand. And it's, like I said, it's hard enough for many people just to pick these up. So to transfer them hand to hand and then add a 180 degree spin and keep the plates together, took a while to train up to, and it's pretty tough. So I was really happy with that. I eventually got to the point where I could actually, more recently, last couple months, I've done some videos where I hit the spin. So I threw them 180 degrees, caught them in the other hand, and then picked up like a fat man blob or picked up another object and comboed them with them. So just kind of building on that feat that I already did was a pretty big deal for me. And another one that really took me a while to kind of perfect and learn was pretty much taking the regular plate pinch and then, using enough force to get them up and actually cleaning them to my shoulder. And the hard part about cleaning them is when you get into position with these things, now picture, I'm pinching both of them at the same time, not just doing one plate. I'm just going to do one for the demo. But I mean, if you're here and you start to pinch them, you're pulling them off the floor, you're picking them all the way up, you're cleaning them. And when they get up here, I mean, if this falls to your thumb, you don't have a chance to stop 70 pounds when it goes this way. And most people are not going to have the wrist strength to stop 70 pounds going that way. It's just ridiculous. And then the other thing you have to worry about is these plates will slide back and forth. That's why you'll see some of the chalk here, on the inside. And that just kind of helps, same way it helps your grip kind of stick to the plates or, get some dryness going so you can get some good friction. It'll help the plates actually stick together so that they're not sliding going crazy on you or slipping if they don't line up perfectly. So a lot of times for pinch feats, when someone's getting it like a maximal feat or towards the end of what they can do, they'll chalk the inside of the plate to kind of get them to stay together a little bit better. And yeah, sometimes that'll help. Sometimes the plates don't line up at all and it doesn't really matter. But for these, they line up pretty good. And like I said, they're a good plate to kind of combo some stuff with. So I mentioned, the farmer's walk with them. I talked about, cleaning them, talked about spinning them and catching them for transfers. I've done other transfers too, where like I've thrown them just no spin, but hand to hand, and then picked up a heavy dumbbell, like the inch dumbbell, or picked up blobs with them. So yeah, they're just really fun to combo. And it gives me a chance to kind of work on upping, because pinching 35s for me is really easy at this point, but I still can expand on it by, adding the difficulty, whether it be a spin, a transfer, cleaning them, adding something else in my other hand. So still very useful for building a strong grip and still a lot of fun to kind of mix up training. If I were to try this with 45s, there's some things I would be able to do, but like I'm not cleaning 45s yet. Transferring with a spin, not happening. Maybe a straight transfer would be possible, but not the spinning with 180 degrees and catching them. So although I can pretty much pick 45s up and hold them for a seriously long time, I can't do some of the like freestyle tricks that I do with these. So I really like these plates for that. So they're pretty versatile and gives me a lot to mix up if I feel like, hey, maybe my pinch isn't there for the 45s on a certain day, or maybe I've already done the 45s and I want to do something new and kind of conquer some new land. I'll, go to these 35s. So they're, like I said, really fun plates. There's a lot of feats. I'm going to, put some of those in the video, and some of them will probably be looped in while I'm talking. Other ones I might just bring up full screen and let them play towards the end of this video. But I really do like a lot of the York barbell dumbbells, the vintage plates, like the York deep dish. I might do a video on those, but in the future. But yeah, they're just, I like the design. I like the history of it. And yeah, it's really one of my favorite plates to do feats of strength with. So aside from, I think they just look cool, right? So that's a big thing too as well. Just how do they look? So that's pretty much going to wrap up me talking about the plate. Like I said, I talked about the width. I talked about the dimensions of the plate, ways that I've trained it and ways that I've used it for feats of strength. So other than that, I'm going to continue to do different videos like this, whether it be blobs, dumbbells, different plates, different feats for grip strength. And there's really no like one lane that we have to stay in. So if I'm doing, feats of grip strength, it could be anything that I'm incorporating, handles, different bars, doesn't matter. So if there's anything that you guys have seen me train on, or if you check out the channel and you see me lifting on something, if you'd like me to do a video on it, just drop it in the comments below. And I already probably have, dozens of videos using whatever it is if it's on my page. And if I don't, then maybe it'll give me a reason to pick it up and try something new and test myself out and see what I can come up with. So if there's any plates, dumbbells, blobs, any feats of strength that you're interested in hearing about or seeing, just drop it in the comments below and let me know, and I'll try to get that in the future. So yeah, other than that, yeah, just check out a couple of these lifts, and yeah, hopefully you guys can get some of these plates and train with them. So thanks for watching.